Judy, welcome to my channel. Today I am trying out the OXX Studio range of makeup from Kmart. I'm on holiday here in Australia visiting my family, and that's why everything looks different. I'm filming this on my iPad, so my apologies. This is in front of the bedroom window. I'm in my mum's spare room, so the light quality isn't great, but you know, we work with what we can. I'm here for a period of time, and I thought it would be fun to try out a range of ostensibly Australian-made makeup. This is Kmart appears to have two own brand versions of OXX. They have a bottom of the range, and then this is the medium range. And when I say medium range, I think the foundation was maybe $8. So I will look up prices and let you know what they are. But if you'd like to see how I created this look and what I thought of the product, then please keep watching. Okay, I just wanted to show you what the packaging looks like because I thought it was quite impressive. Everything comes in a beautifully sealed box, and then once you get past the top of the box, inside everything has been encased in a piece of plastic to stop it from rolling around. Now, this has an advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage was that everything that I bought was pristine, there was no mess, all clean. But the disadvantage was that there was no way of taking the product out and having a look and seeing what it was like. Now, that wasn't too much of an issue, except that they also had no testers, so finding matches and swatching colours was a little difficult. So I'll just have to see how it all goes. So I'm going to start. This is the Clear Studio Primer, and I'm just going to start by priming my face a little with this, if it ever comes out. There we go. So squeezy bottle, but it's got a pump cap, which is very strange. Fairly typical silicone based primer. And now we're going on to the Studio XX foundation. Let's just retrieve that box. What does it say about the foundation? Light coverage and a silky smooth finish. This liquid foundation for a flawless natural look. Okay, I'm not usually into natural looks, but we'll give it a go. Just need my brushes. I'm using my standard Real Techniques brushes, which I've brought with me. And I've cleaned them for this occasion, so here we go. It's got a dropper on it, so I'm assuming it's going to need to be shaken. Oh, okay, this is assuming I can get any foundation out of it. Okay, here we go. Fairly structured, so let's give it a shot. Okay, little seems to go a reasonable distance. Not unhappy with that as in terms of coverage. I need a little bit more for my forehead. And I think I've done the colour match reasonably well too. Right, so next we have concealer, and the packaging is very simple. It just tells you that it's from Kmart. There's nothing complicated about it. Okay, so very fairly thin concealer. I'm not sure that it's actually going to cover a huge amount, but let's just blend that in. And it really does feel to me as though that's going to need setting down. I'm just going to grab a mirror so that I can see that a little bit closer, because it's not showing up very well in the viewfinder. Let's have a look. Well, the concealer doesn't seem to have done a huge amount at all. I got the lightest that I could find off the shelf. And the foundation, when they say it's a light foundation, they're not kidding. I can see absolutely every freckle and everything coming through. The primer, yes, the primer, this is supposed to be, they had several different primers and I think I went for the poreless primer, but I'm not sure that it's doing anything on that front. So far, I'm a bit dubious about this range, but let's persevere and see how we go. Right, so this is definitely going to need some fixing down. So I have the Studio Finish Translucent Setting Powder. They did have some coloured ones, but again, because I couldn't get them out of the boxes to test the colours, I just opted for the translucent. So I've got my big fluffy multi-purpose brush from Real Techniques. Well, it's a translucent powder. What can you say about it? So let's move on to brows. So for brows, I got a brow kit, and the brow kit comes with a brush, a pencil, and a powder. And the packaging says to comb your brows out with the brush. So we'll do that. Fairly standard, does the job. To line your brows with the pencil, I think I'm going to have to use a closer up mirror than this, than the viewfinder. Okay. Now, I just want to quickly show you the packaging of the actual product. If this light will work, it will allow me to do it. Each of the items that comes in a plastic container has got a really good solid plastic container. That's not going to break easily in my bag, so I'm quite pleased with that. Right, now they had 3 small palettes. There was one that was called the contour palette, one was called the blush palette, and the third was called the highlighter palette. I decided to not get the contour palette because actually, to be honest, it seemed as though there was a certain amount of duplication between the 3 palettes. I got the blush palette and the contour palette. So this is the blush palette. Just remove the protective covering. And it has, let me see, it's a slightly shimmery brown colour in the middle there. Oh, let's pull it back from the sun. And then there's a soft peach blush there and a quite bright colour. So I think that's going to almost come up as a highlighter. So I might have gone the wrong 2. Should have got the contour and the blush rather than the blush and the highlighter. But we'll see. So then in this one, this is the highlight palette, and the side here is a slightly shimmery brown, which I think I can possibly use as a contour. Let's see. Well, that shimmers up quite a lot. But in the centre here, there's a matte brown, which I'm going to try and use as my contour. And then there is a nice highlighter on the left here. And that one really does highlight quite a lot. So let's go. I've got my Real Techniques sculpting brush, and we're going to go into that center colour here. I think I really need this mirror, so that's a little peachy for a contour colour, but it'll do. So, okay, so I think if I were to be going back and buying these again, I'd probably go for the contour palette and the blush palette, because I think the blush palette's got something that will work as a highlighter. But you know, if you've got the money to spare, then maybe go for all three. This is not an expensive range. This is the medium of the studio range is their higher end, from what I could gather. There was a less expensive range that didn't look as good, so that was why I decided to go with the studio range. So I'm going to go in with the center of these colours here. This is the brown, and it's got a little bit of a shimmer to it, so we'll see if it works. This is from the blush palette, and there were no choices with the blush palette. There was one blush palette and that was it. So yeah, it'll work, you know, and you can make most things work, but probably not my ideal. So now I'm going to go in. I actually have a tendency to use my contour brush from Real Techniques as my blush brush because it does the job quite well. So I'm going to go into that, the only peach pink colour in that blush palette. Way to go, Jude. Right, we're just going to blush up those cheeks a little. It's a nice colour. It's not too orange, which is good, because with my hair this pink at the moment, I have to be very careful to not go for something that's too orange, or otherwise it makes me look sallow and withdrawn. So I think I will go for the highlight colour in the highlight palette, the brightest of the colours. Tip of the nose. Yeah, you can see that highlight coming through. I'm going to have to blend it in a bit. Base of the chin. Forehead. Let's just take my multi-purpose brush and give that a little bit of a blend. Okay, so on to the star of the show. The OXX range had a whole load of really nice little small palettes, you know, 4 colours here, 4 browns, 4 greys, 4 kind of grey purples. But there was nothing in those small palettes that really struck me. They also had a whole bunch of individual eyeshadows. I'm not a huge fan of individual eyeshadows because they have a tendency to fall and get broken, and I just end up with a bunch of mash. So I went for the eyeshadow palette. This is the Berry Collection. Use this Berry Collection to create a warm summer glow. It's winter here in Perth. Combine colours to create your perfect eyeshadow look. Excuse me. So it has this nice plastic case, really quite good quality plastic case, although I would say that the palette itself is already lifting. I don't know if you can see that from the inside of the palette, so I think I might just see if I can pop that back in place. That's better. And we've got a nice range of colours here actually. I'm quite impressed. Let's see if I can get you a good shot of it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 complete mattes, and they're all good transition colours. They're the nice neutrals. Then we've got 1, 2, 3 what I would call slightly shimmery, just off matte. They just give a bit of a shimmer. and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 shimmers, and then there's one that really looks as though it's going to be a bit of a glitter. You probably can't see it in this light, but it really is. There we go. And you see that it is glittering quite a lot. So I will take photographs of insert swatches of all the colours after I've done my face, but at this point I've not tested, swatched or done anything. You will have already seen the swatches. I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush and use this nude here, which I think is the closest to my skin tone. That kind of sets everything that I've done before and gives me a good base to start the rest of the eyeshadow look. Okay, using the same brush, I'm going in with this, it's almost a grey brown, very taupey, but a very light taupe. I'm just going to take that into my crease. So I'm going in with a smaller brush. This is again the Real Techniques, this is the base shadow brush. And let's see, it's difficult because the rest of them seem to be quite shimmery. I think I'm going to go for a fairly simple look with this palette. And let's go, I'm going to go in with this dark purple down here, which has a slight shimmer to it. So this is going to be interesting. I'm going to take that into my crease. Okay, so what I will say for these shadows is there's almost no kickback on the palette itself. There doesn't appear to be any fallout on my cheeks, but as you can see I'm having a hard time getting it to blend. So I have to go back to this one and keep persevering. So much for the simple eye look. Okay, I'm slowly getting them to blend, but it is quite a lot of work to get that to blend well. I'm going to go in with another one of those brushes, and this time I'm going to use the brightest purple on the side here, which actually looks far brighter in real life than it's showing up on the screen. Okay, that's not too bad. It's gone on. It's blended in with the previous purple reasonably well. I'm just going to take a small flat brush. This is my Bobbi Brown double-ended brush. Go back into that bright purple and run that under the lower lash. Right. My view at this point is they're not the best eyeshadows I've ever had, and they're not the worst ones. they're kind of in between. Will I reach for the palette? Occasionally. Is there anything in here that's really screaming to me? No, not really. But I think what I'll do is I'll just take, there's a gentle peach in the centre here, in the bottom row here, which has got a slight shimmer to it. So I think what I'm going to do is take that on the other side of my flat brush, so it will blend in with the purple. Oh, a bit more kickback on this one. And I'm just going to take that into the inner corner of my lid with a pop of colour. Actually, that's just lifted it a bit. I quite like that. So there's a number of very light colours in here. There's a shimmer. There's a glitter here, but I think that's going to be too glittery for what I want to do. So there's a slight cream coloured shimmer here. This one here, and I'm going to use that on my inner corners. Taking a detail brush, sorry, accent brush from Real Techniques, and we're just going to take that into the inner corner. Okay, I quite like that one. And then I think I just want to highlight my brow bone a bit. I'm going to go, oh, let's see. I think I'm going to go, I'm flicking off my highlight brush, and I'm going to use the matte white, well, it's a matte cream in here, and just pick up my brow bone a bit. So that's the eyeshadows. Mixed review on those, but can't fault the packaging. It really is quite solid. So eyeliner. I picked up the eyeliner pencil in brown, and what attracted me to this particular over the liquid liner, apart from the fact that I don't get on very well with liquid liners, is that it's got a twisty top. And I quite like that, particularly when I'm travelling, because then I don't need to worry about a pencil sharpener. So I've bought the shade brown because I have loads of black eyeliners at the moment. I thought it would be nice to change it up and put a bit of brown on. So let's see how this goes. Quite a creamy formula. It's going on smoothly. And because it's brown, not black, it's just giving a softer look to this eyeshadow. Makes a nice change. I like that pencil. I know it doesn't look a huge amount different on this particular eye look, but I can see it in the mirror and I quite like it. So then we have their mascara, and I went for the waterproof one. They did have it in a brown, but I decided to go for the black, and I got the waterproof as I always do. Interesting looking wand, fairly standard. Let's see how it performs. Quite a liquidy mascara, but that does mean that it's not clumping. Getting good coating of my lashes. not bad, livable. And then finally I went for a lipstick. Now they had some lip glosses and I really wanted to go for the lip glosses, but all of the lip glosses were either brown or vampy, and I wanted something that was a fairly standard neutral kind of colour, and this was the closest that I could get to that, and this is 03 Layla. Oh, it's a very hard lipstick. I'll just wind it down again in case it breaks off. That's what it feels like it's going to do. Okay, well I don't like the colour at all. The colour's going to have to go. I'm going to change this lipstick. No, this is not a lipstick for me. This is... yeah, no. No, this is starting to look like... no. Okay, the lipstick for me is a definite no. Can't be doing that on my lips. Oh. Yeah. Doesn't even feel very nice. It feels very harsh, very waxy. Oh. So I'm just going to grab one of my Sofx Revolution lipsticks and that's better. Whew. And then finally, I think we're up to finally, I got the Studio Finish setting spray, pore minimising setting spray. So this might be useful. Again, they had various different types of setting sprays, so we'll see how this goes. Smells quite solventy. It's got a decent sprayer. But you know, it's a spray. What am I going to say about it? So there you have it. That's the final makeup that I've done with the OXX range from Kmart. We'll see how that wears. Hopefully I'll get a chance to do a wear test and come back and let you know. But thank you so much for spending time with me, and I hope this has been useful for you. I'll talk to you again. See you later. Bye. Right, quick wear test update. I've had this on for 10 minutes and you can see that the mascara probably wasn't completely dry when I sprayed with the setting spray, and so it's smudged under my eyes. Yeah, I would have thought that was enough time, but maybe not.